Naam, sehemu ya barabara ya Jogoo katika eneo la Mbotela hapa Nairobi imefungwa Jumapili na wakazi wenye ghadhabu waliobomolewa nyumba zao Ijumaa. Wakazi wameendelea kulalamikia kupuuzwa na serikali licha ya kutoa vilio vyao na kutaka kutendewa haki. Wametaka serikali ingilie kati na kuwasaidia, wakisema kwamba wameachwa bila chochote vikiwemo vyakula na malazi.
Siku ya tatu tangu kubomolewa kwa nyumba zao katika eneo la Mbotela jijini Nairobi, waathiriwa ambao baadhi yao ni wazee wamelalamikia hali ya kutojaliwa na serikali katika kushughulikia malalamiko yao. Wakionekana kukaa nje usiku na mchana, waathiriwa hao ubomozi wameachwa bila mahali pa kulala, nguo na hata vyakula baada ya nyumba zao kubomolewa siku ya Ijumaa.
Wale wengine wapata manyumba, wakakaa watu wawili watatu. Kabla wanapewa kuna pesa. Wao kuwa na pia watabomolewa siku gani? Kulikuja ni haraka. Hata bibi yangu alikuwa hapa. Alikuwa anakuja kuniona. Hata paka yangu ilienda sijui ilienda wapi. Huku kulikuwa moto.
Ubomoaji huu unafuatia mzozo kati yao na mwekezaji mmoja wa kibinafsi sehemu hii.
Hii serikali mtu akiwa ana pesa, ana value. Mtu ana pesa alikuja dunia hii kimakosa. Ilikuwa amekuja kimakosa, mazingira ilikuwa amekuja kama kimakosa tuabio.
Huyu Kimamia tuliweza kuaccess dokumenti zake kupitia kwa wakili wetu. Shamba yenye alikuwa ameomba kwa kanjo ni tofauti namba na yetu.
Leo walifunga sehemu ya barabara ya Jogoo wakidai haki zao na kurudishwa kwenye shamba lao, eneo ambalo wameliita nyumbani kwa miaka mingi, wakisema kuwa hawana pa kwenda. Wamedai kumiliki shamba hilo kutoka mwaka 1960. Licha ya kuwa na nyaraka zote za kuthibitisha umiliki wao halali wa ardhi hiyo, hawajaona juhudi zozote kutoka kwa serikali katika kushughulikia lalama zao. Hivyo wameapa kulemaza shughuli katika barabara hiyo siku ya Jumatatu.
How affordable is the affordable housing we are being peddled by the government of Kenya? So I had the pleasure of visiting one of these affordable housing projects, one of the first ones to be completed, and I just want you guys to have a look at where your tax money is going.
Because you work, unakatwa shu. Unaona? Affordable housing. You need somewhere to go and cry to your mother.
This is a 3-bedroom unit which you can live in for the low price of 35,000 Kenya shillings per month. For the 2-bedroom, it costs 25,000 Kenya shillings per month and 17,000 Kenya shillings for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Wakati alikuja akatuambia photo map ni mama mboga. Photo map iko wapi?
With an average monthly income of 20,000 Kenyan shillings, how is that considered affordable? If you would like to buy one of the units, the 3-bedroom goes for 4.3 million, 2-bedroom for 3.25 million, and the 1-bedroom for 1.55 million Kenya shillings.
President William Ruto has been saying that we, the online defense force, have been on his government criticizing it without evidence and without due cause. But today, if you look at the newspaper, in the Standard newspaper, there is a report by Kenya National Bureau of Statistics that did an overview or a survey on the housing requirement or needs for this country. And this research was commissioned by the government before the Affordable Housing Act was passed. They wanted to justify the needs in the housing sector for them to implement the affordable housing projects. However, the report that has come out has disputed the government's stand on the housing. In essence, affordable housing in the rural area, it is almost over 80%. Here in Nairobi, it is about 22%. Now, this shows that there is no need for affordable housing for Nairobians. And if you're going to build affordable housing in the rural areas, they prefer bungalows or bungalows, not apartments. And in the Nairobi, almost 70% prefer bungalows, not apartments. Now, this shows that the requirement for the needs, the affordable housing missed it. They are building concrete jungles while Kenyans want separate kind of housing. In Nairobi, more people prefer renting than buying. But the government thinks that we need more houses to buy than to rent. From a realtor's point of view, let me tell you what this research of Kenya National Bureau of Statistics is saying. Simply is saying, in Kenya, we prefer houses that are just on one floor. We don't want high rise. We want houses that are on one floor. Number two, we don't want houses in the urban area. Where we want houses is in the rural area, because that's where over 80% of Kenyans own houses. If 80+% owns houses in the rural area, it simply means we are in Nairobi just working, but at the end of the day, we go back to our rural areas. Or not even rural, outside of Nairobi, outside of the urban centers. Any urban center is not conducive for Kenyans. So what President Ruto, we've been telling him all along is, these houses you're building for us, do we need them? And this survey shows we don't need those houses. So what does that mean? It simply means this project were initiated with people who had business interests. They did not plan for Kenyans to have houses or Kenyans to own houses. They just wanted an enterprise. If you want to know it is an enterprise, tell me if there is any project in this country, affordable housing, that the government is doing it directly. It has given most of them to a particular cluster of Kenyans who are doing this project. And while they are doing this project, they have taken loans with those titles. And therefore, those affordable housing, actually, they are not owned by the government. They are not owned by the people who have been given the contract. They are not owned even by Kenyans who are buying. They are owned by the banks who have financed. And once these people are financed, they don't even finish this project. In short, affordable housing was meant to fail because it was just to make some few billionaires. And I think they have achieved their goal, and therefore they don't need the affordable housing. Therefore, what we've been saying all along is, every project that this government begins, it is to benefit a certain caliber of Kenyans, a small percentage of greedy Kenyans to make billions. That's how it was. So what do we do? With this survey now showing that the government itself has run a survey and it has discovered that affordable housing has failed. So what do we do? Affordable housing must be declared unconstitutional. Simple and clear.
A local bank has threatened to auction the Pangani affordable housing project, where some Kenyans have already bought units. And you probably have seen a project that is being constructed that is known as Jevanji Estate, what used to be county houses there. But the land was later taken over by a developer for purposes of building affordable houses, where construction is currently ongoing. Now, there's a dilemma because once the developer started building the new houses, the title of the 8.9 acre piece of land was transferred to a special purpose vehicle where the developer would own the majority share and the Nairobi County government will get a 20% valuation. The developer was even allowed to take a loan against that piece of land. It's public land, because he needed the money to build the houses, which were then to be sold to Kenyans at a later time. He got a loan from a local bank that was about 1.9 billion. The land was valued at about 1.8 billion. And now the developer has defaulted on that loan. And the Nairobi County government now is claiming that the land, which originally belonged to the county, was greatly undervalued. That is to say, if you take 1.8 billion by about 8.9 acres, you will say each acre was being valued at about 200 million. These houses were under the affordable housing program by the government, but the bank says if the developer does not pay up, they'll have to auction the entire project to recover their money, because the collateral given to them is the title deed of the land. And even if the county is disputing the process, the title is already held as collateral for this piece of land. There are also other issues where there are claims that the developer is already using the piece of land for other activities unrelated to the affordable housing project. They say to be a cement plant, and the cement being made there is being supplied to other locations that are not related to the affordable housing program that is supposed to benefit Kenyans who wish to buy these units, especially those who had been assigned houses under what used to be the Jevanji estate before the relocation for this high-rise building. Money254.co.ke has written more about this and more money news. Click on the link provided to learn more.
Affordable housing is the biggest pyramid scheme and scandal
tupatie facts
in Kenya.
Tupatie facts. Ingia kwa simu.
Acha niwape facts. Fact number 1.
Alright.
Common sense. Mbona uchukue pesa kutoka kwa Kenya, ujengea wa Kenya nyumba, alafu wauzie?
Okay.
Why take my money, build me a house, then sell to me? Number 2. Kuna katiba na kuna sheria ya Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act.
Okay.
Hizi nyumba zimejengwa on public land. What assurance serikali inakupa wewe kwamba you own property on public land? Kwa sababu sheria ya ku own property on public land is very clear na haijafuatwa.
So kesho kunaweza kuwa mtu mwingine akuja aseme hii ni shamba ya serikali.
Ni shamba ya serikali. Sasa nyumba yako iko juu ya shamba ya serikali. Aya, number 2. How affordable is the affordable housing?
Okay.
And why is it a priority for Kenya? How affordable is it? A bed sitter in Kirinyaga affordable housing program is 1.79 million. Ni Wakenya wangapi ambao wanatusikiza leo asubuhi wanaweza kuafford bed sitter ya 1.79 million na wainunue Kirinyaga?
Do you know kuna Kenya hata hajaishika shilingi 10,000 mshikana hivi?
Yes. It is not affordable for anyone. Number 2, it's not a priority. Who wants to live in a big government hostel?
A big government hostel.
It's a hostel. Ile ni hostel.
Okay.
What the government priority should be is kutengeneza economy, kuwe na cash flow, watu watengeneze pesa, ujijengee nyumba yako mahali unataka.
Okay.
Now, the president says ametengeneza 160,000 jobs in the affordable housing. We don't have data. We cannot confirm for sure that it is 160,000. But let us take him by his word. Though his word does not mean much, kwa sababu akisema hii huwa anadanganya. Mara nyingi akisema kitu huwa anadanganya.
It is very easy. You simply post a credit on everybody who paid on their accounts. So that next time when your employer is remitting, pay as you earn, remit it less the amount. The simplest thing to do, because every employer has entered on the database set the details of the employee, and they know how much they paid as affordable housing. They know how much they're supposed to pay as you earn. So just credit everybody's account who paid. Next month, if you're deducting, you can do it progressively. Deduct less the amount that was paid as affordable housing levy, which was illegal. So it can be done. Simple. And government will be paid to pay as you earn, less the sum. Then we move to the next level. But if you want to continue this affordable housing, continue. And we wish you well in that project. That is your response to the economic problems of Kenya. Continue. We wish you well. Do it. In fact, we hope and we pray that you succeed. What we are not agreed of you to do is come to raid our pockets illegally to fund your fantasy project. Because it's a fantasy project. Let him continue doing it, but don't raid people's pockets. Let him look for funding elsewhere. Let him look for modules that have worked in other parts of the world, or conceive, rearrange his own budget and fund it. But not from people's pockets, in an illegal manner. The onus now is upon him and David Ndii and the other advisors to come up with funding models for the affordable housing. The one they proposed, the courts have said is illegal. And it cannot work. And even themselves, if they're left now to find their own funding models, you will see them drop this affordable housing, an affordable housing scheme. Because there is no private sector individual, there is no reasonable investor or financier who is going to put his money in this scheme. That is why the appetite to raid our pockets. Because if it was making economic sense, how many people have capital across the world, even here in Kenya, that could have funded that project if it was a viable project and there's a ready market for it? You can just go across the world. There are people with billions and billions of dollars who are looking for opportunities to invest. But the model does not make sense because the problem of Kenyans is not housing. The problem of Kenyans is called affordable living. Kenyans want affordable living, not affordable housing. And I say that because our problem is a revenue problem, an economic problem that the bulk of our population do not have money in their pockets. We are not creating jobs that are commensurate with the people's qualifications. People lack opportunities. People live in low-cost housings. People live in slums, not because there is a lack of houses. People are living in slums. They're living in low-cost housing, low-quality housing, because they do not have money to pay for those houses. I told you, go to Kilimani here. There are so many apartments that are very well maintained, well built, proper sanitation, running water, electricity, lifts, that are empty, unoccupied. But yet you turn to Kibra, there are hundreds of thousands of people living in shanties without access to proper sanitation, no running water, no electricity. They are living in squalor. It's not because the person in Kibera cannot walk to Kilimani to see that house. They've seen the fact. Some of the people who put up the houses in Kilimani, they live in Kibra. So they know those houses exist. It is just that they do not have the earning capacity to live in those houses. The system has not created an environment for them to earn enough that they should be able to afford to live or even to buy those houses that are empty here in Kilimani. So if you want to address our problem as a people, address it by putting money in our pockets. It's an economic problem about people getting jobs, people getting opportunities to earn a decent wage. Once you address the decent wage, then you'll see them going to access those houses, buy them. Because the private sector has already built and saturated the market. With an empowered population, they'll be able to access and buy and own those houses and occupy them, even pay rent. So our problem, in summary, as a country, is a problem of earning. And the people of Kenya want affordable living, not affordable housing, as one of my followers I saw mention on my TikTok. It's affordable living, not affordable housing. The code did not stop the projects from going on. They can as well do their project and find money whichever way they want to do that fantasy project called affordable housing. And I say that because we are alive to the fact that this project started with Uhuru Kenyatta. And even when Uhuru Kenyatta had proposed the housing levy, Kenyans rejected it and he dropped it. So let Kenya Kwanza fund that their fantasy project in the way Uhuru Kenyatta was funding his. Because Uhuru never collected the housing levy from the taxpayers to do this project. So even then, can they find alternative funding models for this money? Because as we have demonstrated before, there is nothing affordable about the affordable housing levy. I mean, the housing project.
The affordable housing is not affordable.
It's not affordable. It's actually unaffordable. And we gave an example in a place like Mlolongo today. Great Wall Apartments are selling 3-bedroom units on offer at 2.9 million. In Nakuru, they were selling 2-bedroom unaffordable housing at 3.5 million. And yet in Great Wall, it's a private individual, private company. They have bought the land on their own. They're using their own finances. But in the unaffordable housing, they're using public land, they're using taxpayers' money, and the cost is 3.5 million for 2-bedroom. In Mlolongo, 3-bedroom, 2.9, their own land, their own money. So it's unaffordable housing. True. So we must be very categorical. No one has stopped them from pursuing that project. They can, in fact, we encourage them, go ahead. What they have been stopped and what we demand of them not to do. And over 90% of Kenyans who appeared before the Committee of Parliament when the budget was being passed said they don't want this housing levy on their pay slips. They must respect the will of the people of Kenya. Because remember, ultimately, executive authority is a delegated authority. Because the sovereign power vests in the people of Kenya. And they can exercise it directly or through their democratically elected representatives. And in delegating it, the person to whom it is delegated, in this instance the executive, must abide by the constitution and must respect the views and decisions of the people. The people have spoken in several public platforms and they've said, we don't want a housing levy on our taxes. So if you want to do a housing project, find alternative funding models, but don't touch our pay slips. Because as it is, the pay slip of ordinary Kenyan today, it is shrinking by the day. It is hit by so many taxes.
Almost half of it.
Almost half of it is going to taxes and levies. Now you want to add affordable housing, housing levy, you want to add shift levy. You don't know which one is coming next. Next they'll say the breathing levy for you just to breathe. And I tie that to, because you see Kenya Kwanza, they don't have an economic ideology or even program that can rescue this economy.
Kwanza mimi kwanza ikifika 2027 naiba mpaka kura ya madhangu na budangu. Sitaki warudi tu huko tena. Sima youth church anuka. Madha zetu bado Ruto unaenda home na 13 parliament tunaivunja. Wende home wote tuanze fresh.
And we are not alone. There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Niko ndani na tunamalizana na nyinyi kama tunamalizana na nyinyi. Mmetutesa sana. Today is today. You must hear our cry. Sisi ni sisi. Mtatusikiza. Hii ni bunge yetu. Sisi tumewafanya mko hapa. This is our parliament. You must hear us. Kama hamna masikio tutawafanya msikie.
No one is going to tell me what to do at what time. I'm in charge. So please put that proposal on the table and then let's discuss it. And if they need a right, you can't say because it.
President, tunataka kuambia uko na miaka 2 katika ofisi. Na wananchi hawa they will punish you na hata ukiwa na pesa watakutoa nje.
Idiots who don't want to participate in the affairs of their nation, they think things will just work in and of themselves. Then they are tribalists. And these tribalists, they think that they are only safe with people who are from their tribe. And tribe can mean people from the same culture, same language, or same culture. Then they are citizens. These are individuals who are responsible and know that when you want to be served, you must give those who have the desire and the intellectual capacity to serve you. In many societies, it is only a small percentage of people that can be called citizens, not more than 5%. And if a society wants to grow in the right direction, civic education is what will help the idiot and the tribalist to become a citizen.
Wacheni tu mimi niseme na mapema. Ndio kama kuna list na andiko mniweke kwa list. I can't wait to reject Finance Bill 2025. I can't wait because I know it will be something absurd. It will be something mental. I can't wait. Mneke kwa list jameni. List ya reject.
Majenzi mko? Kazi mnafanya kwa mtandao ni mzuri sana. Na tunapongeza nyinyi. Na muendelee. Mtaendelea. Lakini mtandao peke yake haitoshi. Tunataka mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Wale watu ambaye watakomboa Kenya hii, wenye kuamua Kenya itaongozwa namna gani, ni hao majenzi wetu mwaka wa 2027. Lakini hamwezi amua Kenya itakaa namna gani kwa simu peke yake. Lazima mchukue vitambulisho, lazima mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Siku hiyo ikifika muamuke saa 9, muungane na sisi na wengine, tuende pale kwa debe, tutafute uongozi wa maana ambaye utaheshimu wa Kenya, utaheshimu demokrasia na utakubali kufanyia kila mtu maendeleo. Tumekubaliana majenzi?
Now, why do you want Ruto gone?
We want Ruto gone because he is killing innocent people. He's wanting to pass the Finance Bill 2024. He's putting tax on sanitary products that girls can't even buy. He can't go to school. He's corrupt. He's taking the money. He needs to go.
Yes.
Out. If you're going to raise anything, start with your hairline.
Nice.
Control, Alt, Delete, Ruto. The drunk did better than you. Drunkard did better than you.
Nice.
Mungu nguvu yetu, itoe Ruto Kenya, hata kama angalau na jali. Sisi Kenya tumechoka na Ruto, maisha imetuharibikia, analipisha mpaka sodo ya wamama. Pure kabisa Ruto. We don't like you, go home. Sasa tafuta kiongozi ambaye anapenda mwananchi na anapenda kijana kama.
They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. And there is no shortage of such men and women in the African continent.
Now the next election, yes. Unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namna gani? This generation, yes, they use their might because they didn't vote. The largest vote in the last election.
You like me, why them a fight me, You like me, chewing a bone, a bite it. You like me, chewing a bite it. Don't like, I wanna chill. When I trust them, when I fuck them, even if we both them. When I fuck them, when I touch them, you find not touch them. When I trust them, when I touch them, what I'm gonna suck them. In fun, I say, you bust them.